Listen, hush, hush.
I know I haven't posted a video in a while, and that's because in March I was planning on going on a bit of a booktube hiatus, taking a break from the whole thing. But I had to take a break from my break because Dylan from Dylan and the Reader 5 and I decided to co-create a tag. So this is called the Memes Book Tag. Both Dylan and I are known for our excessive use of memes on Twitter, more so him than me. So we thought this would be perfect for us to create. So obviously all of the questions will be in the description down below. You know how tags work, so let's jump right into it. So meme number 1 is Crying Kim, and there are a few memes of her crying, but they all apply. For this one you're going for, obviously, a book that made you cry. And a book that made me cry, as I've talked about it several times before, is In the Country We Love by Diane Guerrero. This is a really heartfelt memoir about her life growing up, both before and after her parents were deported back to Colombia, where they originally came from. And it's about how she had to fend for herself as a young American girl, and there was a scene where she went to see her mother right before she was being deported, and she was being held at some sort of like detainment camp or something. And let me tell you, I cried. I was listening to this on audio, and you heard it in her voice, and it just made me cry. It was sad. Question number 2 is Salt Bay, and this is a book that was good but needed something a little bit, just a little bit more. You know, just something a little extra. And for this one I decided to go with Toodles All the Way Down by John Green, which I really love the writing in here. John Green is an excellent writer, and the representation of the main character's mental health was done excellently. However, the plot was very distracting, and the characters themselves were like bland pieces of chicken. There was just nothing to them. So I honestly couldn't really connect to this book for that reason. So I felt like if John Green had fixed it up where those things were concerned, it would have been a bit better. Question number 3 is Thinking Guy, and this is a book that made you think. And a book that made me think was Homegoing by Versace. This is a wonderful epic family saga that spans 7 generations over a course of 300 years. It's truly a remarkable story because it sort of contextualized race relations and racism today, and how that is so rooted in the past, and how what happened in the past still has a profound effect on present. I was supposed to say the present, but I don't know where the went. It also made me think a lot about family and heritage and how we are all like products of this great story. So I really enjoyed it for that reason. Meme number 4 is Confused Guy, and for this one you're showing us a book whose hype you do not understand. And for this one I really don't understand the hype around the 5th wave. Like, it kind of died down now. Like, by the time the 3rd book came out, nobody was talking about this shit anymore. But when the book first came out, everybody was raving about how amazing it was, and when I read it, it was as stimulating as an instruction manual. This story was nothing more than just words on a page. There was literally nothing, no substance, no quality to it whatsoever. It was just that flat and surface level, and I still don't understand the hype. Number 5 is Evil Patrica, and for this one you're showing us a guilty pleasure read. I wouldn't exactly call this a guilty pleasure because I did enjoy it, but it wasn't guilty. I don't feel guilty for having read it, and that's The When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. Now this is a very fluffy YA contemporary that's objectively not the best thing ever. I understand why people don't like it, but I'm also here to tell you that I unapologetically love this book because I read it at a time where I was in the middle of like a few boring adult books, and I needed something to take me out of that slump that I was in, and this book was there for me, and it did all of the things that I needed it to do. And also there are Indians in this book, and that just made it a whole lot better. So number 6 is Meryl Streep, where she's just like, oh, and that's going to be a book that you keep hyping up on your channel. And of course for me that is A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki. I always say that this is my favorite book of all time, and it's the story of a woman who finds the diary of a very mysterious young girl, and you're reading the diary of the mysterious young girl, and you're also reading the story of the woman who's reading the diary. And it's wonderful. It's Inception. It's amazing. It will F with your mind. A lot of people don't like this book, and I understand, because coming down to the end, things kind of take a weird twist, but I still absolutely loved it, and I'm so glad that this book exists. I just realized that I forgot to put on my room light, so I don't know if that's making much of a difference, but if I look like I'm disappearing into the night, then I'm sorry. Question number 7 is Successful Baby, and this is a book that made you feel accomplished after having read it, and this doesn't necessarily have to be a book that you enjoyed or that you loved. It just has to be a book where you felt accomplished after you read it, whether you liked it or not. And for me, that one is going to be Uprooted by Naomi Novik. This isn't particularly like a difficult book to read, but it's an adult fantasy. Well, I heard young adult, but it's somewhere, it straddles the line between the two. The magic system was a bit difficult to understand, and even though the writing wasn't hard, it wasn't particularly my taste. So reading this book, I felt as though as if it wasn't really for me, but I still pushed through and I finished it, and I enjoyed it overall. I gave it like a 3.5 stars. It's not the best book ever, but I still felt very accomplished after having read it, because I'm just not a fantasy reader. So after reading this book, I felt good about myself. Question number 8 is Pennywise, where, you know, he's like in the sewer like, ah, and then you're just like falling for all of his tricks and stuff. So for this one, you're going with a book that had like a promising concept, or a book that you had high expectations for but that ultimately let you down. So this is a book that I haven't finished. I started it, I got like 50 pages in and I stopped, so obviously I can't judge it, but that is Sophia Khan Is Not Obliged by Aisha Malik. This is a book that I wanted to love so much because of the fact that it is a Own Voices Muslim rap story about a Muslim woman in England. But what I didn't really consider was that this is a romantic comedy. I don't know why I was expecting it to be a lot more literary, but when I went into it and the...
Listen to me. Listen. Hello, excuse me. Ole, hush, listen.
When I went into it, I wasn't expecting that it would be written so casually. Like, I've described the writing in here as Facebook status-ish. That's how casual it is. So I want to give it a try again one day, hopefully with lower expectations, so that I might be able to finish it and actually enjoy it next time. But as of right now, I felt very disappointed by this book. But I know that it kind of has mixed reviews anyway, so I really don't know what I will think of it in the future when and if I decide to go back to it. Meme number 9, and sorry if I keep saying question instead of meme, y'all. I'm just so accustomed to saying question when it comes to tags. But meme number 9 is the headphones dude. I think it was Jay Versace, and he was like screaming in his headphones, like, you know, and so it is an audiobook that you like. And for this one, I of course have Born a Crime by Trevor Noah, which was an excellent audiobook. Trevor Noah is absolutely hilarious. I would really recommend that you listen to the audiobook over reading the physical book, because listening to the audiobook, you actually get to hear him narrate his story. And not only that, but this book has a lot to do with languages and accents, because in South Africa, where he grew up, there's a lot of different languages and accents being spoken. So to hear him say the things in those accents and to say the things in his language as opposed to reading it off the page, I think was a lot more effective for a reader to connect with the story. So I would really recommend that you listen to the audiobook instead. Sorry, you know this isn't Books on My Social Life if I don't have a random camera shift in between, because I'm just that disorganized. Anyways, meme number 10 is Guy Distracted. So this is the one with the guy who's like walking with a girl and then he's looking back at the other girl who looks exactly like the girl he's with. I don't know if anybody have ever noticed that, or if like they're twins or something. They look exactly the same to me. Could just be because they both... Anyways, I'm gonna say that. Anyways, for this one, you're going to show us 2 books. A book that you have been neglecting, that's been on your TBR for a very long time, as well as a new shiny book that you are being distracted by, that you're prioritizing over the rest. This plane needs to go. Anyways, the book that I have been neglecting is The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. I've had this since 2015. Haven't read it as yet. Almost 3 years. Actually, it has been exactly 3 years since I bought this book. Haven't read it as yet. I know I'm going to love it. Everybody loves this book, but I just still haven't read it as yet, and I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm a terrible person, I know. For a new book that I recently got that's been distracting me, my most recent purchase was A Girl Like That by Tanaz Bethana, which I pre-ordered since November, and when it came, I was so excited. I haven't started it as yet, unfortunately, because I'm still trying to finish up another book that I'm reading right now, but when I finish that, I'm going to start this one. Well, actually, I have to read Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda because Love, Simon is coming out. I know Kirsty. I haven't started it as yet. Don't be on my case. But yeah, maybe after Simon, I'll give this one a go because I'm really, really excited for it. Meme number 11 is Cash Me Outside Girl. And for this one, you're going with a book that tried to be something that it's not, because listen. And for this one, I'm going to go with Mosquito Land by David Arnold. This book is so pretentious. The writing in here is so horrible. The writing tried so hard. The writing in here was like... I don't know, it's like he tried to be so philosophical and so profound, and he really wasn't. And meme number 12, the final meme, is Dog in the Fire. How many books is on your TBR? Because it's fine, it's okay. For me, I have about 45 or 46 books, which doesn't sound like a lot for booktubers, but I own about over 100 books, like 110 books or so. So that is a good portion of my books that I need to get read, so... yeah, it does give me anxiety, even though it mightn't sound a lot to like some of you who have like 200, 300 books on your TBR. And finally, meme number 13 is a bonus. Pick your own meme and pair a book with it. So for example, you could pick the Krusty Krab and Chum Bucket meme that has been going around Twitter since literally right after Dylan and I created this tag. So I don't know, it's really annoying, listen to me. Anyways, I'm not going to go with that one. I'm going to go with this meme of Deepika Padukone, who is like this big Bollywood star, like crying but smiling at the same time because somebody, I don't know, somebody's probably like complimenting her or something. And I wanted to pair this with Far From the Tree by Robin Benway, because at the, you know when you reach the end of the book and you have like these tears that you're holding back, and you're not really crying, but you're just happy and bittersweet at the same time, because that's just how the ending of the book is. That's how the ending of this book was. It made me smile, cry. I was going to say cry, smile. It made me smile cry. A new tube, Sajid Hussain 2018. Anyways, I'm going to end the video here real quick because my camera is telling me that it's running out of space. I will be tagging a whole bunch of people in the description down below. A whole bunch of people. Likely you're tagged if you're a friend of mine. So go in the description and see for yourself that you've been tagged. Okay, bye. Thanks for watching. Inshallah, keep reading all of that stuff. Bye.